Hey, yo. Welcome to Write That Down, a Probetus podcast. You should have seen Mark's face when I came with my hot welcome there. But to my left, as usual, I've got Mr. Phil Irwin.
Good afternoon.
Across from me is the man with the faces, Mr. Mark Jensen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And Elvis, of course. And then to my right is Mrs. Chrissy Lund.
Woo!
Hooray. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I would just like to start out today by saying that, Mark, can you lift that up in front of us? There's a cupcake, and one cupcake in front of us. So we walked into this today, and it was like, well, who wants the cupcake? And like, well, I don't know, nobody, but everybody and all that stuff. So it's just going to sit there in the middle, and we'll just see what happens to it. At O for Heaven's Cakes, and what was the tagline again?
And more.
And more, and more. So not just cupcakes and more. So then we're talking beforehand to, like, Grand Forks Best Source and more. They
Yeah.
do podcasts
And more.
and Probetus Promotions and more. And that's a lot of stuff.
I do a lot of and more.
You are kind of the
I think
queen of
that
and more.
Chrissy's job has become just and more.
And more.
Yeah.
Like, if the rest of us, I guess normal employees, like can't get it done, pass it on to Chrissy and she'll be like, oh yeah,
If we can't do it, Chrissy can. Yep,
I can do it.
There's probably a song coming somewhere. But how's everybody doing today? Just want to check in and see how everybody's doing.
I think what day is it? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
After
today.
holiday day.
Yeah.
Yes, it is after Easter weekend.
Everything's
And
messed
tax
up.
day.
Oh, and tax
It
day.
is?
It was yesterday. Wasn't
Oh,
it
yeah.
yesterday?
Yeah,
I should probably file mine then. Just kidding.
but speaking of tax day, because it's always been April 15th, right? That's the tax day, and yesterday was the 18th. And I know that this is in the future, and we've had this conversation, and if it's ever in the past, and all those fun things about time travel. But when we're shooting this today is the day after tax day, which I guess was April 18th. So, Mark, what is that all about? No, I'm not
I just
asking
remember
you in
seeing
the
it on my
sense that
calendar.
I know you don't work for the IRS, but like it's April 15th, which was a Friday, which is a normal work day. Is it because it was a holiday technically because of Good Friday?
Oh, I bet it was.
Possibly.
Probably. Never thought of it that way.
I'm
they
pretty
change it?
sure that people who work for the government do not work on any even remote half holiday.
Probably.
Yeah, I'd probably agree to that.
Yesterday was a holiday in my world.
Oh, yes, it was because, well,
Well, no, shout out to my dad. It was his birthday.
oh yeah, that is a
Big
holiday.
70.
Oh,
Nice.
wow, that's a big
It's a
number.
reason to celebrate.
And your dad's a big fella. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your dad. I'm sure he'd like to hear about himself.
My dad watches the show.
Yeah.
So does my mom. Shout
Yeah.
out to mom.
Yeah.
Her birthday was in December. She's also maybe that age. I won't say that.
Yeah.
She's like,
You're a good daughter.
You know what? When you
Late
get to that
20s.
age, though, it's celebratory,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Dad's a good guy. He, for a retired air traffic controller, smartest man I know.
Awesome. We'll leave it at that because that's
you don't need
you
and
can't
more.
Get better than
No.
there's
It's like,
No,
yeah,
there's-
there it
there's
is.
no and more.
It's
He's
dad
literally the
and
smartest
more.
person I know.
Yeah,
And more.
and more.
I thought
Fill in the
Matt
blank.
Fisher was the smartest person.
No, you got to be the big
No.
7-0.
Yeah, I got.
Well,
a
he's
long
got
ways
5
to go.
kids that'll say that about him someday. Hopefully.
I
Wait,
sure
Come
hope
on,
so.
you're
Hey,
a
Matt,
good dad.
which of your 5 kids would say you're the smartest man they know?
Not yet.
right now.
The really young ones.
Doesn't
Yeah.
happen yet. No, you got to
The one-
get through a phase.
Yeah, the ones that are still learning shapes and colors, maybe. But
My second he always says, "Dad, you're the best dad," and I like appreciate it, but I keep thinking he has no frame of reference. I'm probably not that good.
and he's not a teenager yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
How about you, Mark? How are you doing today?
Well, just wonderful with all the beautiful snow out there and keeps on snowing. And
terrible.
yeah, no.
So
Doing great. Just plugging along.
Awesome.
have you, like, you always have flip flops in your car? This is from a couple episodes ago, but like, have you changed anything with the flip flops since we got round 2 and 3 of snow?
You know what? I did have a pair on the back seat of my car, but now if I remember right, they're in my gym bag because one day it
no.
was really warm. Or it's kind of in between, so I threw my gym bag so I could
Mark,
Where-
are
yep.
your flip flops like chapstick? Do you have like a car flip flop, bedroom flip flop,
I just
gym
have-
flip flop?
I just have several pair of flip flops.
Okay.
Chapstick is a really good analogy because you're
is
always
it?
like,
And I
is.
just have quite a few pairs of shoes in
I've
general.
got my own thoughts on chapstick, which may get me banned from the internet. But
wow.
well, no, Phil, I'm just my thoughts on chapstick and the conspiracy that I have about it specifically.
Oh, it's
but-
conspiracy.
Oh
related.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So I'd like to hear more about this, Chrissy, with your chapsticks. I didn't. First off, I don't believe in chapstick.
I love
But
chapstick.
now there's like different chapsticks for different areas and
Well, yeah, you've
regions
got your
and-
car chapstick, your purse chapstick, your nightstand chapstick.
Your washing machine chapstick.
Yes. Your coat, your winter coat chapstick. And if any one leaves its location, then the whole system breaks down.
All right.
And the chapstick with the cap that falls off and has every other thing that's in
I
there.
have the one that's in my car that melted in the summertime, and now it's all weird shaped.
So speaking of
But you
melted,
still have it?
Yes, nothing wrong with it.
do you guys remember?
shape.
You guys remember Carmex?
Yes, that
Okay.
stuff's terrible.
Okay, hold up.
Oh,
So I remember in high school there was like the rumor going around, and this might go into your conspiracy theory. I'm curious, but everybody was like, "Did you know Carmex has ground up glass, and it like cuts your lips, and so it actually makes it more chapped in the long run?" Like that was the big That was the big rumor. And I was like, well, it works, but Carmex is notorious for melting because it's in the little jar. And so if you have it not mounted, vertically, it'll melt and then re-solidify. And so you're just like working on the side instead of using it like normal.
you leave anything in your car in July, it will melt.
Yeah.
So is that true? Is there glass in Carmex? And is it all part of a greater conspiracy?
I can't neither confirm nor deny about the glass in the Carmex, but I will say that I follow that logic where I feel like people who use chapstick a lot and apparently have it in everything that would ever be possibly needed to have it in, from coat pockets to next to your flip flops in your gym bag. People who use it at that level, once they don't have it, all I hear about is my lips are chapped, I need my chapstick.
Then
I
they're not
don't-
very smart. They don't have enough of it.
Okay, is that it?
Oh, that's the solution.
Or is there something in the chapstick that makes you go back to it? And I'm not saying it's a drug. I'm not saying there's like some type of addictive drug in
glass.
To
it.
be fair, though, I don't use actual chapstick brand anymore like I used to. I really just use Aquifer.
Which is that
which
a
is in
Melaleuca?
tube. It's like a Vaseline product.
Yeah.
So Vaseline, the brand.
No, it's Aquifer.
So Aquaphor is
Isn't Vaseline a brand?
Yes.
So Aquaphor is also like
just
a brand, but it's
Yeah.
similar to Vaseline in consistency. So
Yeah.
Aquaphor, when
In
I
a tube.
But Vaseline's a brand. So we're talking about petroleum jelly,
Correct.
right? Okay.
But Aquifer's a brand.
Right.
So Aquaphor is what I use immediately post tattoo,
Yes.
and then once the tattoo is no longer like red and irritated, and it moves to the like
Lubriderm.
sunburn sort of phase, then you just switch to regular lotion.
Well, I've just realized all this talk about the lips, and my lips are not chapped, and I'm kind of tired of staring at the cupcake, so I think I'm going to have a little lunch.
it
on
lemon?
the show.
Oh my
Is
goodness.
this our
So-
first on air meal?
I'm just going to sample the cupcake.
For you.
I like
Make sure
it.
that my lips
Way to
aren't
be
chapped.
assertive.
All right. Well, Mark's eating.
He's really uncomfortable with this chapstick talk.
Yes, there it is. Well, Mark's eating awkwardly in front of us. I just want to know why you get a tattoo and then put Aquifer on your lips and then move to a different one.
I don't think you followed.
Oh, okay.
Matt doesn't have any tattoos.
Yeah.
I don't.
Or do you?
You
No, I
actually
don't.
place it on the area that was tattooed.
Oh, okay. So you get your tattoo and then you put the Aquifer on.
Correct.
Day one.
Correct.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Well, we've gone off the rails already. Let's get to the write that down question of the day. At some point in the last couple of years, I had this delightful comment where I said, in business, deleting an email might be one of the greatest feelings. And we're in a business that's sales. We're a sales organization. So you would think like getting a big sale would be just awesomeness and that'd be the greatest thing. But one of the greatest things in business, in my humble opinion, is
Yep.
deleting an email. Phil, why would I say such a thing?
Because it's true.
I know, but like,
Yeah.
do you remember what was I just walking by and it was like had this epiphany, or were we talking about something? Or
I think so. Early on, when Mark and I started at Probetus, you had an actual like mini seminar for us, where you came into our office and you pretended to be like ultra serious. I think you're envisioning yourself as Elon, and you were like, "Okay, I'm gonna unleash knowledge on the planet." And so you explained to us your method for how to manage our inbox, but specifically to avoid just stressing out over it. Because he said a lot of people in business are controlled by their inbox, and it creates happiness, sadness, everything in between. He said, especially being new, I don't want you guys to go into this and be overwhelmed by the volume. And so I think it was a couple weeks probably after that, you had made the comment about how it feels good to delete the email, and I wholeheartedly agree.
all right. I've got Mark making a face at Chrissy, and Chrissy. So before we get to that, I thank you, Phil, and I would say that being that I feel like one of the greatest things in business is deleting email, which sounds ridiculous. I must have a problem when it comes to email.
Yeah.
Like I've got certified issues with email, and I try to be like an email evangelist is probably how I would explain myself, and kind of an email evangelist who like might be cultish-y about it. Like not very many people will follow said evangelist, but the ones that do are also kind of crazy. So that's where I'm at with email. So like when I delete an email, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. So great, wonderful things. I would say Phil is probably one of the people who would maybe be a follower in that cult to a certain extent.
Until
where Mark
recently.
and Chrissy are absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like,
You cannot
no, we won't go.
transform me. No.
so
Yeah.
so Phil, I
be
mean,
brainwashed.
yes.
I tried my best to approach my inbox the way Matt recommended, and we don't have time to explain, but the short version is that Matt strives for an empty inbox at the end of each day, and then he will move things that he wasn't able to complete into a separate folder, and then attack it, for specific days of the week. I guess that's the shortest way I can describe it. So until recently, when I absorbed kind of overnight like a bunch more clients when we were doing some reorganizing, I was doing pretty good. I typically have a handful, like 5 to 7 emails in my inbox where it's like, you know what, I've cleaned it out pretty good. Now I have fallen off the wagon.
Okay.
It's not happening.
So you're not even close to a follower anymore.
And I think the reason, here's my justification.
Okay.
I think the Carmax got to him.
Yeah. The reason I stopped deleting it as aggressively is I started getting all these clients and I had no idea who they were. I knew I wasn't going to remember their name the first time. It was going to take a couple rounds. So I'd save the emails so I could follow that chain. And then once I started doing that, I got out of practice of deleting it when I was done. And now I have over 50. You know how so we use Google.
Play.
No.
We
hold
use
on,
Google,
Phil.
and it says over 50, and then it allows you to go to
Yeah.
the next page. Well, I haven't looked at page 2.
Chrissy, how many do you have?
Last check, I had at least 29,000
29,000.
in my inbox.
In her
That's
inbox,
just
okay.
the inbox. That doesn't
How
count
about-
all the folders I have.
How about you, Mark?
Well, I'm not as high as Chrissy, but I'm more than 50.
All
But
right.
see, I'm one of them. I'll save them, but then I will delete after everything's done with that. You don't have transfer, but when I'm working on that project, I feel more safe having that email where I can
I
type
would
in
like to
Chrissy.
put on record how many times you two particularly have come to me and asked me about a project that happened years ago and who had the information.
Yeah, you can find it.
I
It's
did.
crazy.
I did. Document and store.
All right, so Chrissy 29,000, Mark more than 50, Phil about 50, Matt 0. And right now, in the time that we've been here, there's emails
Piling up.
piling up
Yeah.
in my inbox, and I'm having a minor panic
I
attack.
just want to make a note to all of my clients out there. I hear you. I have your emails. I keep them.
And I want to echo that. Chrissy has them, and she has them from 17 to
I think
20 months ago.
Oh, 14 years
But
ago.
Chrissy's
Yeah, easily.
inbox number, just as if you do work with Probetus, we get this question a lot, like, "Oh, so are things busy?" It's like, holy cow! Like, it is It's crazy. Just if you're listening now, it is crazy busy.
Crazy.
Plan ahead.
But
Please.
not too busy.
Please plan ahead.
We're not
But I
too
will
busy.
always make it happen.
It's Probitas Promotions and more.
And more.
And we're happy
We'll take
to
care
be
of it.
busier. All right, so we've got an idea of where Matt's craziness came from. So as you could see, like a deletion is like super high in my world of email. I do feel like email is the way that business works right now and happens. I feel like most of our business is done over email. That's a transition that happened probably in the early 2000s. Before that, it was probably more stopping in or phone calls. But obviously, email is kind of where business is done right now. So I'm just a freak about it. What are you guys' thoughts on email in general? And where are you at when it comes to that? And Paul's pulling something. You got it? You have a thought, Paul? Well, he says sure as he pulls the microphone up and
Well, just to add to your paranoia, so you know when you empty your trash, they're not gone, right?
yeah, I mean,
You
I
actually
get
have to
that.
go into your trash and then delete your trash as well.
Yeah, but I have it set up where it actually does it after 30 days. So I've got it automatically set up to do that.
You're right though,
in the
because that has
settings. But
saved
yeah, once
me
you go to trash,
on
then,
many
then
occasion.
then it goes. Then you can actually still access it. But
Yep.
So you're wondering like if I don't have that full happy feeling until like after the 30 days are done.
Yes.
That's just a question you have for me.
Yes.
Okay, thank you,
That's a
Paul.
good question.
I appreciate that. I never thought of it, and now I'm going to have a different type of.
Oh Lord.
You've just created anxiety for 30 more
Exactly.
days.
Now I've.
You know, speaking of anxiety,
Sorry, Abby,
though,
I'll be home tonight, and I will be sitting on the chair, and we'll be talking about the 30 days of emails that are sitting there that I thought I deleted. Chrissy, what are your thoughts?
my anxiety happens when I delete an email. Like, what if I need it?
So you completely disagree with this
I
this
do. I like
comment
to
here.
hold on to things. I'm like an email hoarder
Okay.
because then I always know it's there.
I agree with that term. I mean, 29,000 is a lot. That's
and I've deleted a lot.
and she's deleted a lot.
Is that why we lost power yesterday for a while?
I was working from home, so you can't blame me.
It was so bad. She was working from home, and we still lost power.
The power of the email.
But do you guys agree? Do you feel like email is like where we spend most of our time when it comes to at least the work that we do? Obviously, like if you work in an auto body shop or if you're doing some sort of mechanic work or doing some sort of plumbing, you know, those trades, you're not probably in your email as much as we are. But for us in kind of the B2B sales world, that's where we live, right?
It is wonderful because then I can, hop on anytime I want. And, ooh, this person needs this, and boop, 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 I can do it. And then they
Sure.
can see it on their timeline, and I can work with someone who's not in my time zone.
Yeah, it makes me think about how this type of business was done 25 years ago when there wasn't internet, there wasn't email, there wasn't even
Fax.
computing.
Fax.
There was fax. Yeah, think about that. People would come in.
We would.
No, but I mean, they'd come in with a drawing of something, and they would say, "We want to put this on a cup," and they would have to fax that to a factory.
Bring the art on a disc.
Yeah, and
Or
then,
send it.
by fax. Yeah, it's crazy. So the amount of business that we can do because of email is nuts.
The first manufacturer, do you remember the first manufacturer to ask us to start emailing our orders instead of faxing was Gold Bond?
Yeah, and Gold Bond is kind of progressive when it comes to.
And
our
everyone was like, "Oh my
industry.
God, how do I do
Yeah,
this?
what's an email?
I just got to say that Gold Bond is the worst name for a promo company
Gold
ever.
Bond
It
Inc.
is.
When I started,
Yeah.
you're like, have you checked Gold Bond? And I'm trying to find the website, and I just keep ending up in talcum powder. And I'm like, okay, I get it, but like, I need some cups.
I wonder who came first. Does
I
anybody
would
know?
say probably the talcum powder would be my guess.
Probably.
But I don't know. Mark Jensen, what do you think about email, just in general?
It just amazes me how, I can send a message here and it can go anywhere. Where does that message just float around? No, I just
cloud.
think emails, I can definitely see, your point where you can get like lost in it. But, I'm a little bit like Chrissy. I kind of, maybe it's because for myself, I'm old school. Just that idea of like, oh my God, I don't want to get rid of that in case I need it.
Right. What about personally with email? I'm going to start. I have 4 email accounts because I'm a coach. So I've got my work email account. I've got my personal Gmail account. I've got my account that I started when internet an email became a thing, my Yahoo account, which I still have for some reason. And then I've got a Grand Forks Public Schools account because I'm a coach. So sometimes I get stuff through that. And I would say out of all of those, I mean, I use all of them for different things, but I'm most definitely in the work one most. But personally, I try not to use my work one for personal stuff because there's just some things that you don't want with your work. So what are your thoughts on personal email? And I will say I handle it a little differently with my personal email, but I do try to keep a zero inbox. I'm just a lot less spastic about it, I guess. So who wants to talk about what you generally do with
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to be honest and say what their personal email, how many emails you have?
I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I also have my work email through Probetus. That's to answer your question. That's the one I use all the time. I have a Gmail account from back when you needed to be invited by a computer nerd to have a Gmail. I still remember my friend. He was playing drums in my band. I'm trying to send him a file, and it's too big. And he's like, "I can send you an invite. You can try out Gmail." And I'm like, "What's that?" It's from Google. Oh, I've heard of that. And so you had to be invited. It was, I guess, beta.
Yeah.
But I've had that one for a very long time. And I remember looking back at some of the emails that existed at that time. It wasn't my first email account. Like I had a Hotmail initially.
Do you still
And
have that
send it.
account?
No.
Okay. So
No,
that's, I mean, like
I've
you
gotten rid of the
canceled it?
originals.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gone. But yeah, the Gmail one, the amount of my life that was stored in it started kind of freaking me out. And then within the last year, all the stuff that's been coming out about privacy, specifically with a company like Google, made me really uncomfortable. And so I have been slowly breaking up with Google and moving the majority of my, like, I guess, important stuff to a now third email account. But I don't ever send emails with it. Like I don't ever like open it up and say, "Hey Dad, how are things going?" Like I don't use email for correspondence or that sort of thing at all. I just use this for like, "Hey, this is the email address that I use for my hospital bills."
No,
or
that's
for
good.
my
And I want to
electric
come
bill,
back
that
to
sort of thing.
I want to come back to the thought about how you don't use email for those sorts of things. I want to make a comment. All of our thoughts and comments, which we should just know are our personal comments, and Google, please don't hurt us. Google, please don't.
We like Google.
Yeah,
Yes,
we use it
love
for work, yeah.
Google. We
You know,
love Google.
I have.
They can. You have to love Big Brother.
Yes.
You
Okay.
have to love it.
Mark Jensen, how about you? What do you think about personal emails? And would you like to tell the world how many different email accounts you have?
Let's see. I only think I have, I have my work, Gmail. Let's see. And then I got mine from when I was back home. And then, I do have like Yahoo that I use that one. So like if you're shopping and somebody says you want the email.
Oh, so I
yeah.
thought this might come up. So
the throwaway email.
yes.
Yeah, a little bit, you know what I mean, or stuff like that. But
I don't have a throwaway email. I just make something up, so it never even goes anywhere.
Just like, is it original each time?
Well, like if I, I do, sign up for email. Okay, I just
You randomly make up an
Well,
email?
yeah.
That's how I get all of these emails that aren't even addressed to me.
I'm
It's like,
sure it
what?
doesn't
I'm
go
gonna do
anywhere.
Phil today.
No. It's usually me@me.com because I'm sure that doesn't go anywhere.
Oh,
I'm sure it doesn't.
Well, somebody who has me@me.com can just have all my emails.
you actually and it works. Like
I don't know.
No, what?
Yeah,
'cause
you have to fill in a blank. When you have to type something in, it has to have an @ symbol. It has to have a .com. Me@me.com works.
Okay, but still, you might be on to something. I'm not like I was really on the fence right away, but now I'm kind of like, because I thought you had to get verified. Like if you give an email account.
Depends.
Okay, so what about it depends. So
Okay, so I have my work email.
okay.
My old work email rolls into my new work email,
Okay.
so that doesn't count anymore. My personal email, which my personal email actually has 2 sections to it. It has what they call focused email and other. And so all of the newsletters and the whatnots go to the other side, and all of the your order shipped goes to the focused side. So that's kind of like 2, but it's 1. And then I have a Gmail account because I had to have one to log into my phone. but I don't use it. So, and then if I have to give an email address for something that I don't want, I make it up.
Okay.
Yeah, YouTube's the main reason I held on to my Gmail one. It's become my like sign up for stuff, like Mark was saying. But like once I started moving my personal stuff to the new one, like you have to have a actual Gmail login to use YouTube, for example,
Oh, I just
or to,
I just
to
pretend I'm
upload
the
videos
guest.
and that sort of thing. So it's sticking around, but you can use it as a. I'm saying
Because
like,
we have YouTube
uploading
TV at
videos.
home, and Jamie has a login, and I just choose guest.
but you're not uploading amazing
No.
content.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm not.
You need that.
Oh, all right. You gonna teach me how to make content?
No,
then?
I haven't done it in a while.
Okay, because I don't know how. I watch other people's content.
Good stuff.
Paul,
All right,
could,
so
Paul
I-
could do it. He's probably a YouTube wizard.
Yes, YouTube owned by Google. We love you, Google. All right.
Stop it.
So what? So
Stop
back
pandering to the Google.
So back to your point about you don't use email for specific things, like or certain things.
Correspondence.
That was a good word. Correspondences. And what do you? Let me ask you this question: what do you use right now mainly for your correspondences?
I use my telephone.
Like your rotary telephone with the dial. that you
That's
go-
the one.
Okay.
No, I typically will call my family, for example, on the phone once a week, and then various text messages from the same phone and phone number throughout the middle portion of the week.
Do you call them like hello, or do you video call them like the Jetsons?
My dad likes to video call Saturday mornings, typically when I have not yet put on a shirt and I'm still eating breakfast. And so that's always how that works. Video call when you're not ready for a video call. So my dad likes to FaceTime, and typically with like my mom or various friends, it's just regular phone call.
My mom will
Voice.
text me, "Do you want a video call?" And then we'll video call.
Correct. Yeah, that happens.
But we get the pre.
I don't
want
get the
it?
warning from my dad. It's always just like you're taking a bite of eggs and you're like, wow, I should probably put on a shirt. And then the phone rings and you're like, oh no.
But now you know this, so why don't you just put on a shirt?
Or
Well,
you
why
just
doesn't
hit
he just
decline.
change the time he calls?
Have you asked him?
No, it won't make a difference.
Or can you hit decline?
Yeah, I
It
suppose.
goes to the voicemail.
Video voicemail? That should be a thing.
We don't have much time left, but I really want to just change the topic based on what Phil just said.
Oh no.
And it's eating without clothes on, without a shirt on specifically. Like I can't. And
I make my kids take their shirts off.
No, no,
like
no.
On
when they
spaghetti
eat,
night.
when they eat.
on
Hold up.
spaghetti night, hex yeah.
Okay, so let's say it's a Saturday, right?
Hold on,
You
I'm not trying to trigger Phil. Okay, you have that look. I'm just asking a question.
I'm about to answer
Okay,
your question by making a triggered statement.
okay.
So I wake up. If breakfast is ready, I am not going to say, here, let me get dressed up in my clothes for the day or take a shower quick before I come downstairs. That's disrespectful to my spouse who has prepared the meal. So I'm coming downstairs. I'm not
Okay.
going to soil a fresh shirt. I'm going to eat my eggs. And then when I'm finished with the eggs and the FaceTime phone call with my dad, then I will go finish getting ready for the day and put on a clean shirt.
And your kids are probably going to grow up traumatized. Like, nobody come to our house in the morning because my dad is practically naked
Well,
in the
no,
house.
I'm also a bodybuilder, Mark.
Oh boy, now we have
You
two
inspired
bodybuilders.
me, so
If you have boys though, there's nakedness all the time in your
Yeah.
house.
Yeah. And I'm like that's where the question comes from. Obviously, I have 4 boys. I don't like wearing shirts. Like if I'm at home, I'm like the Goldberg dad from the show Goldberg's. Like I love to just strip down and just be comfortable, right? And not having a shirt on is comfortable, and that's fine. I get. But what I have is something called an eating shirt, and
Like a bib?
no, it's a shirt, and it's you've never heard of this before?
Like eating pants with elastic waist?
No. It's an eating shirt, and this is legitimate, and you can ask anyone in my family. They all know it. I've got a shirt that's dirty-ish. You know, it's
Like
not...
ketchup colored?
Well, I mean, it gets washed. Like, I only use it for, like, a couple days, and then I'll throw it in the laundry.
don't you
but-
eat every day?
Do you change your
No,
clothes every
I've
time
got
you
different.
eat?
I've got different eating shirts. Pretty much an eating shirt is just the shirt that it's usually a full zip because I don't like to necessarily put something over my head, and Maybe the hood was cut off because when I'm sitting back, I don't want it, rubbing against the chairs.
How do you eat?
This is so bizarre.
It's not bizarre. I mean,
We've learned things I don't think we can unlearn today.
this podcast, if I've learned anything, populates very high on business management people's cues. So
Really?
So we should start selling eating shirts.
yes, really, Phil, just like you're a bodybuilder, we can all believe Mark Jensen is a bodybuilder.
But not me?
Not you, Phil.
Aw.
Anyways, I can't eat with a shirt off, but I like not having a shirt on. So I would recommend to you maybe an eating shirt. You could even like have it nicely laid over your chair at the table.
I'll try it this weekend.
Okay, because then when your dad calls, this all goes back to your dad calling, and then at least you'll have a shirt on.
Yeah. What do I do about my bad hair?
Oh boy.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Do I need an eating hat?
No, you don't want to eat with a hat on.
That's just
What-
strange.
What's happening
I'm
behind
not
me
sure.
right now? Okay, Phil. Paul's saying we gotta go. Oh, what are you saying?
That you'll want to turn that one up eventually.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'll do that. All right. Well, we probably should go. We've rambled on enough. Are there?
I
any-
want to eat my cupcake.
Okay, Mark Jensen has
Hey, wait,
got a
wait,
wonderful
put your
cupcake.
eating shirt on.
I'll take my shirt off.
I just feel like really.
Can the next episode just be about the dangers of eating and cooking, maybe without a shirt?
Cooking
I
for
don't
sure.
know.
Yeah.
Definitely wear a shirt while you're cooking.
It's something that we're just not going to probably.
And we're out.
And we're out. Well, hey, thank you for joining us for another Write That Down Pro Beatus podcast. We really look forward to seeing you all next time. Mark, how is that?
Great. And send those emails to Matt because we are not busy enough for Matt's email.
Send them to
info.
me. I'll keep them forever.